righty, folks, you know that I believe co-living is one of the hottest things going in real estate today. I've actually had the folks from Pad Split on a couple of times, and again, got really down and dirty, asked them some hard questions. But we've got somebody in our community who is now celebrating his 3rd year anniversary. So I love to talk to Jared because he tells us the real. Jared, first off, congratulations. You've been in the game for 3 years. Tell us about it. What's going on?
It's going 2 more years of suck, by the way. But
yeah,
boy,
first 5 years suck.
You weren't lying, especially with this strategy, doing it remote out of state. I mean, you know,
you had another extra layer of layers. Yes.
Yeah, I don't make it easy on myself. I never have. But it's just, that's the way I'm built. Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, man. But I really, this is going to sound weird, but I enjoy the failures now, which is strange. Like when I started off, I was like, oh man, this sucks. But I like that I've had all these little nuances and issues up front because it's actually helped me to mitigate things down the line. And
much easier to see a failure with 1 or 2 than with 17.
Yeah. I mean, I started off with co-living. I didn't do long-term rentals. I don't know anything else. So I'm just, ignorant to everything else. And so I just look at everything in co-living lens. But yeah, I've learned a lot in the last 3 years. I'm continuing to learn, but I'm leveraging AI, which is kind of why I wanted to hit you up here, because I have a W-2. And for a year of this journey, I wasn't doing a W-2 where I spent the time focusing on my strategy, building the team, because I'm out of state. And I spent 8 months down there going through cleaning ladies and all the service people you can think of. And so, yeah, it's been an up and down ride, but it's worth it.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. You shared something privately. We won't actually do actual numbers, but we'll talk about a milestone. In 3 years, which again, you're celebrating your 3rd year, you now have crossed a significant milestone where you're really at kind of almost break even, meaning the proceeds from this co-living in 3 years now can basically fund your life, which is kind of the first milestone, right? Again, you'll have to get to 2 or 3x that to really feel the freedom. But let's not forget you did it in 3 years. It certainly is not something I saw for probably 8 or 9 years. So this is why I think it's the hottest space. It obviously works. There are obviously do's and don'ts, which I love that you talk about both. But I just want to congratulate you for enjoying the suck and getting to that first milestone. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this way it makes me a little less stressed out at work if something
happens. Exactly.
If something happens, we're good. The only problem is I can't scale. Yeah. But if I did get let go, I already have a plan. I would go straight into AI and just start helping people with that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, let's also talk about, again, one of the things I love about you is you're very much like the our part of the one rental at a time community, much a go-giver. And you are the co-living guy. So you even stepped forward and created a school community that is free.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Why'd you do that, Jared?
I did it to try to niche down. Like there are other co-living communities, and I don't want to knock on them, but they're not for me. I mean, I listen to them, but I don't interact with them. I got spoiled by ORAT, to be honest with you, and I don't like them. I mean, I can go there and pick up data from them, but they're just a different crowd. It's just not my thing. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to create my own, just make it free. If it's not free to me, I have to pay for, as you know, you have to pay for
$99 or whatever. Yeah.
But I figured, that would be good to help people out. And as it turns out, they're helping me out. I mean, but everybody's helping everybody. But yeah, we got 150 people, not 150. I had to go, there's people that come in there try to sell stuff and all that. I got to go monitor that.
Yeah, that's my job, is keep the community, as wholesome as possible.
Yeah. Well, people in the community help self-police too. So far, I'm the only admin on it, but yeah, it's awesome, man. Like I really like the community thing. You, Dion, Matt, all the guys. You guys have all changed me. Real estate's changed me. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Like I used to be very pessimistic. Everything was a scam. Oh, that's crap. This is crap. And then slowly, Pace was the one. He was not going to like this. Hopefully he never sees this, but I saw Pace. I was doing research because I read the book Tax-Free Wealth.
Sure.
I live in Oregon. Real quick, my story at the top front is like, I live in Oregon. Taxes suck. It pissed me off. I want to do something about it. I'm a little bit of a high income earner. So I decided I'm going to mitigate my tax burden. Read a book, Tax-Free Wealth. And it said, get into real estate. That was day one. Day two was cash flow. Wow. Check that out. Cash flow. And then everything changed from there. but it changed me because it opened this door, and I'm still learning. I have to get out of my own way. I do that a lot. I get in my own way a lot, and I have to learn to get out of my own way. But anyway, it's changed me for the better. I think it's made me a better person, a better husband, better father. It's weird, I know, but it's opened some doors in my brain somehow. I know that's not normally what people talk about.
No, I think it's important because one of the things, if you are in real estate, well, I'll say it this way. If you get into real estate and you stay in it for more than a couple of years, you almost automatically have to be more optimistic, because if you live in a room, a world where everything is negative and a scam and everything's doom, this business will chew you up and spit you out, because there'll be plenty of examples where you can go, yeah, see, I told you so. And you won't see the goodness. So yeah, if you stay in this game more than a couple of years with the little paper cuts that we get every now and again, it's not shocking that your mindset is shifted. And to your point, to carry that one step further, you become a better friend, husband, father, because if you see everything as negative or see everything as, you just see the world differently and you act differently.
I spent, and I don't knock it, but you talk about the doomers. I spent probably 2, maybe even 3 years watching doomers. I thought, oh, wow, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. So to your point, and a lot of people say they screw people over. They do. Like, I could have got started 3 years earlier. But I'm a person that believes that everything happens for a reason. So, I was going to get into real estate in 2000. There was some stuff there, and I was going to buy a house and sit on it. Then my mom was like, oh, I can live in it. I was like, oh, I'm not doing that, right? Because out of the gate. And then 2008, it's like, wow, it's a good time. Never got around to it, that kind of thing forever, and just never got into it. I was going to get into it, and then the Crash Bros are like, oh, it's bad. And then luckily I found you guys. So
there you go. Well, one of the things I love about you is you are willing to dive in and learn new stuff, even as an old dog like you and I are. And you have dived into AI, and you are using AI and you are creating things. And again, you are giving them away. I don't use AI almost ever. But you've done some pretty powerful things. So what have you had AI create, very Rent by Room specific?
Well, I created an app, built an app, not for me, but for other people, because underwriting co-living deals is a little rough. I don't know if you're going to post this or if you even want to know about it, but it's, I even bought a domain name for it. It's rentbyroom.app.
There you go. Rentbyroom.app. No periods, dots. It's just rentbyroom.app.
Yep, it's free too, and it's a co-living analyzer, and you can go in and put your variables in, and it'll help you underwrite it, and your number of rooms before and after, construction cost, all that stuff, even furnishing costs. So I just threw it all out there for the person looking at this, wanting some help along the way, because in the beginning it's it's crazy, right? It's a different strategy. It's weird. So I help people out, and then for me personally, I haven't done anything that talks to, coming from an IT background. It took me a while. I've only been doing AI for about 3 months because I purposely didn't want to do it. I was trying to work towards retirement. I wanted to be done with IT. But another thing that happened here is that it sparked in me, because I used to be an IT guy, actual sysadmin for 17 of my 25 years in corporate. And so I went to the dark side, management, because it was more lucrative, right? And then some of those skills I thought went away. And then AI kept coming out, and people are talking about it. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll give it a shot.
I'll play with it.
And then it took off, and I'm like, holy crap. And then the weirdest thing too, maybe sociologists or psychologists are tell me what this means, but if you would have asked me before I sat down and tried it, Linux back then, stuff like that, do you remember it? It's like, oh, I don't remember any of that stuff. As soon as I sat down and put my fingers on the keyboard, it just kind of like muscle memory, I guess. It was weird. And I was like, oh, thank God,
Yeah.
But anyway, so I built the Property Scout, and it goes out. I built the framework, spent 7 hours talking to my AI agent, which is my CEO, interviewing me. And then that way it knows what I want, and I'm very direct, right? And I set the parameters. The vibe coders that go out there and build stuff, sure, if you're doing 1 or 2 things, you could build something, but if you're going to build anything significant and be able to improve it, you need to have a framework. You got to work. If you're going to build a house, you got to have a foundation. To do the foundation, you need to know how big the house is.
Don't build the roof first. That's a recipe for disaster.
First thing I did was built my AI agent architect orchestrator, right? And then build all that. And then now I'm going slow. So I've been at this 3 months, but I'm doing it in a methodical, slow way, slow for me anyway. And I leverage those agents that run 24/7, 365. They're my employees, basically. I have Herm, who's my CEO. I've got DevBot, who also spawns sub agents. That's my application development bot, agent, whatever I call them, bots. I got my tax advisor. I uploaded the entire IRS code and a bunch of Arizona's. Everything's in there. And anytime, everything I do, I work through Herm, the CEO. The CEO does stuff, and as it needs other things, it'll offload it to the tax agent. And it actually caught something that I need to talk to Bob, well, who we use. Because I did a cost seg, and then it knows everything about me, right? Which is scary, but and it said, hey, you had claimed cost seg and depreciation, but you also had claimed appliances. So I may have double dipped, maybe not, but I want to make sure I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to flag
I don't want to do that again. Yeah.
So anyway, I built all that, and it's kind of helping me run my business. Nice. But what I haven't done yet is I don't have anything AI other than third-party apps talking to the renters. I don't want to do that yet. I want to make sure I have everything squared away. So what I've focused on is the acquisition side of the house.
Makes sense.
And I automated the whole damn thing.
I love all of this, and I'm glad you're not. Because I don't know about everybody else, but when I interact with an AI agent with a company, I just stop using them. Southwest Airlines being the most latest example. I had to change a ticket, and they shoved this AI agent in front of me, and I'm like, you're not listening to me, right? I ate the $600 ticket. I went somewhere else, bought a brand new ticket. I'm lucky enough to have the finances to do that. I will never fly Southwest again.
Yeah, they lost a customer for life with AI, and so that's why I refuse. And I have the same experience with PadSplit, to be honest. They responded back an email with obvious AI generated return. I'm like, really? You guys didn't even look at what I sorry, Atticus. I know you.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Be better, Atticus.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to make sure I got the URL right. I just created a banner. Is that it? Rentbyroom.app?
Yeah. Rentbyroom.app.
We will live that. And again, what is that when people go there?
Oh, it's just a free underwriting app, and then I have all the hardware if you want to buy it. Not by the way, it's free. I don't sell anything, but I do want to say those are affiliate links through Amazon.
Okay.
I get like
7 cents,
30 cents a year, or whatever it is. It's not that. It's just a place to keep it. But I thought it'd be
got inventory of stuff you're using. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, something else we got coming up. We just put tickets on sale yesterday for our ORAD event, year 4. You've been to, I think you've been to all of them.
I've been to all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. What have been your thoughts? Would you tell people to go? Who should go? Who shouldn't? What are some thoughts there?
You have, well, for me, the community's awesome. You get in school and all that, but you touched on it a while ago. Well, I think we were off camera, but in your circle, I don't know about my circle, nobody did real estate. Nobody even invested. It was just kind of this thing that was out there, right? And you kind of knew about it, but that was for rich people.
Yeah.
And until I got into the community, especially our community, one, made friends and family and all that, but from people watching this and saying it's validation, somebody else has done it, right? There's people all up and down the stack. You got somebody who's never done anything, wanting to learn. You got someone with like one property and some strategy, and then you got people that have like 50 houses and stuff, right? And it's just awesome. It's up and down, and everybody's open. It's I don't know how you did it. If you could bottle up and sell that, you'd be a billionaire.
Absolutely.
But it's time, right? Time, and you've vetted the community. You have people in here that are like-minded. They're not doing weird stuff. And so I would go just for that. And I got lucky because I found you early. I had went to a few other events, and I was like, man, I was going to go into my little hole and do it myself. Cause they're very salesy. You don't do that, right?
Don't sell anything. Nope.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, there's no, cause I'm very pessimistic, and I was like, okay, there's no sales stuff here. And it was a true celebration of your 50. I was like 50,000. I was like, wow, this is cool. And then I met cool people. And then I was like, okay, this is my community. So yeah,
so I was just in Vegas. I did a quick day trip to Vegas because I was speaking at an event, and one of the big shots in the social media space, everybody would know, but I don't want to put them on blast, so I won't. It is basically like, Zuber, why aren't you running ads for your school community? Because again, I don't know if you guys know this. I got a note from Alex Hormozy that One Rental at a Time is a top 5% school community right now.
Nice.
Which I had no idea. But this guy is pretty deep in the school community, and he seeked me out at this event, and he's like, why aren't you running ads? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you have a funnel? Why don't you do this? And I basically said to him, money's not my goal, which just blows people's minds up when I say that. But I said the real reason is I don't want to grow fast. right? If I started running ads and I started doing these other things, yes, I would be bigger, but I think we would lose the special sauce that is one rental at a time.
You know, your community self-regulates.
Yes.
Somebody had recently asked a question in school. Like I run, like in a few hours, we're going to be running the Sunday sync, the 12:30.
Yeah.
And in that group, we used to record it. And the lady had asked the question, do you guys record it? And everybody, all the people responded largely no. And at least for the Sunday group, the reason we stopped recording is I felt like people would be more open and it would, you know, give. Now I used to take those and you gave me the permission to put them on YouTube. And I thought, oh, okay, here's a way to win-win. You know, I can put content out there or whatever. Yeah. And then I realized I got sucked up into that trap. There's certain people that want to grow these things. And, you know, my YouTube channel, REI Jared, not speaking of not want to grow, but, you know, I got to 1,500 subscribers and I wasn't trying. Right. But nice. I haven't put out anything in like 3 weeks. So I'm sorry. You're consistent with that. I'm not. My life is a nightmare. It's a circus, man.
My life is awesome. So it's okay.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, you guys self-regulate, or we all self-regulate.
Yeah.
So it's about the people. That's the thing, is the community is about the people.
Correct.
It's not about anything else. And so people don't understand that, right? Like we all want to grow, we want to retire, whatever our goals are. And there's financial piece to that, but it's more about that community and helping each other all grow up. What's that? Rising tide
raises all boats.
Ships. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So this guy just, you know, he cornered me for like, I want to say it was 20 minutes. It might've been 5, but it certainly felt like 20 minutes. This is so uncomfortable. And he just wouldn't get it. He's like, don't you want $1 million? Don't you want to do $100,000 a month? He said, don't you want to win the school games? And I'm like, I could not imagine anything worse than winning the school games. Right? Do you know how much of my life I would have to sacrifice to do that? And then I have to sacrifice my community. Are you freaking kidding me? No, I don't want any of these things. And he finally ended it with something, I don't remember exactly, but he basically said, well, you're just different. And I'm like, you're saying that like it's negative?
That's a positive thing.
I think you just gave me the nicest compliment I've ever heard. Thank you very much. And he walked away with like, he was in disgust. He's like, I don't get it.
That's okay. He doesn't have to get it.
Yeah,
it's not for him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I am so looking forward to year 4. Tickets are on sale.
By the way, I have not got mine yet. I did see they were posted. I mean, like I said, my life's on that, but my wife and I, and then Stephen Gomez, my realtor, if he doesn't want to go or doesn't want to pay for it, I'll pay for his ticket just because.
Get him there.
Yeah. For Jason Hartman's event, it actually changed his investing strategy, believe it or not.
There you go.
There you go. He was bringing his whole portfolio down, paying down. Then after he believe it or not, he didn't know about leverage. I mean, he knew about
inflation-induced debt destruction is
that was what got him, and so he's like, oh, maybe I should rethink this, and so he is. So
there you go. Well, one thing I will say, and I you know, like you, I have a Sunday call now. I do mine at 8 a.m. I call it office hours. I do not record them. I will not record them because I want people to be open and just put it out there, and it's a lot of fun. But somebody said in there is what was game changing for them was bringing their wife to the second year. They came solo the first year and they brought their wife the second and third year. If you can bring your significant other, it'll be game changing for both of you. And they can ask questions and see others. And it's a lot of fun.
Can I say something on that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
My wife was dead. She did not want to go. She's not a crowd person. She's not even, you know, she's into real estate from what perspective. She didn't want to go. She went, and this is how cool the community was. She was just part of the group. She got along. Aaron Amin, if you ever watch this, she loves Aaron Amin because he's doing the RAL, the retired assistant. That's what she wants to do. So I told her, hey, let's get our stuff figured out first, and then we can go off and do that for fun. Because I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a financial house and teach people financial literacy. Once I get to my goal, I'm going to have another one. It won't make any money, but it'll sustain itself. And I want to teach people finances. I mean, the people that in my strategy, they have no clue, no clue. And I'm like, dude, we got to do something about this. This is not good.
These are the people that we bring into the One Rental at a Time family. I like it. Jared, you're amazing. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Congratulations on 3 years. Congratulations on that first number. That's a big milestone. You got a little bit to go, but just keep going.
Yeah.
All right, folks, there you go. Right on the screen, rentbyroom.app. Also, you have a free school community, Rent by Room, that Jared hosts. Jared, I appreciate you, man. Have a good week.
Yep. Thanks for having me.